Well, there's tons of stigma about mental illness. So there's all kinds of myths, meaning not true stories about mental illness, like it's your fault, you're weak, you should be able to cure this on your own, or you brought it on yourself. And those are all not true. So 10% of teenagers will at one time or another have a clinical depression. So they're in good company. Lots of famous people have had depression. Some of you have heard of Amy Winehouse. Some of you have heard of Britney Spears. Some of you have heard of Kurt Cobain. Those rock stars and musicians, they all had depression. Famous people from history, Abraham Lincoln, Winston Churchill, the painter Vincent van Gogh. These were all highly accomplished people. Guess what? They had depression. So, point is, you don't need to be embarrassed. You don't need to be ashamed. It's common. Even very famous people, musicians, movie stars, rock stars, politicians, everybody gets depressed. Seek help. So share it with an adult, either parents, or if they don't feel comfortable talking to their parents, school teacher, pediatrician, family doctor, coach, minister, priest, whoever the person feels comfortable talking to, get help.
I have 8 cuts on my left arm currently. Sounds like I'm boasting, but trust me, I'm not. Clint says he doesn't understand how I can do it, but I said it's a sickness. If anyone hurts themselves, then they have some kind of problem. I found out the other day that Jonathan cuts too, but now he's moved on to burning. He heats metal and pushes it onto his upper left arm. It's gotta hurt.
This project that we've done was very emotionally draining as well as physically draining, and I'm sure some people can agree with that because we've explored a lot of different angles of depression, and I know it probably affects some people because some people could relate in most of these situations. So
the difference between a clinical depression, in other words, something that needs treatment, and just normal sadness is severity, persistence, and what we call functional impairment. So first of all, severity. It's so severe that you feel you can't control it. You're feeling worthless, helpless, and hopeless. So this is so severe that you feel you can't control it. Whereas with a more normal sadness, you have a sense that, yeah, this really, I feel crappy today, but tomorrow's another day and I'll be able to get over this, and I can do things to make myself feel better. So severity, persistence. A normal, so-called normal sadness will last a day, a couple of days, even a week. But according to the psychiatry standards that we use, if a feeling of sadness lasts 2 weeks or longer, every single day we're talking about, for 2 weeks or longer, then you're probably getting into the realm of a clinical depression. So duration. If your sadness is less than 2 weeks, probably not clinical, probably not in need of treatment. Longer than 2 weeks, probably yes. And then functional impairment. What that means is the depression is so bad that it's getting in the way of you doing what you're supposed to be doing, which for you is going to school, doing well in school, having fun with your friends, getting along with your parents. Those would be the main things. So functional impairment means a clinical depression interferes with school, friendships, and family relationships. If those things are going off the rails, probably it's more of a clinical depression.